Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I got this motherfucker clear like an eye drop. I got elevator flow, I'm on a high top. I got little something stacked like an IHOP. This is 05, you will put it on your iPod. I'ma give you something that you can't forget. Put the price up, baby, add the tax a bit. Know you saw the comma, thought it was an accident. Well, it wasn't. It's about time the kids buzzing. I'm trying to get a peek in the elevator. But if we talking peaks, I need mine like the Himalayas. I'm talking yay high, man. I never had a vertical limit. I ain't seen you put in work in a minute. I gotta put on for the family. That goes for every person that's in it. Used to scrape by working as a service attendant till I got more. Bitch, I ain't comfy. I need the top floor. Doing anything to get that spot for. Pop off. Started as an East Coast vibe. Now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive. Now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay. We really sick of standing outside. Had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I ain't settling for nothing that be under an M. There's only one of me, there's 100 of them. Gotta listen close, I drop hundreds of gems. From the start, no, I wasn't pretend. With the world on my back, had to drop my own ego. Problems at the crib, we couldn't fix at Home Depot. That was on tilt, bombs off the vino. Room full of smoke like we lived in a casino. She know, day I moved out is when I opened my eyes. Looking for the truth like God show me a sign. I'm not religious or the holiest kind, but the blessings came to me when I opened my mind. I was running around the city, man, I knew I had to make some. Wasn't raised a thief, but if I had to, I would take some. Worked the Frito-Lay, I was writing on my breaks, son. Plotting on a record, waiting for the day we break one.
Nah, I was just, no, I'm really busy, just wrapping up some stuff in the studio. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, it's just been a lot of, like, settling in and whatnot. Yeah. I'm not really sure when I'm coming back. I don't have any plans of it right now,
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve.
Well, the New York Yankees played a ball game today. I guess we can say they tried to play a ball game today. Welcome, everybody, to the Designated Spittaz. And yeah, this is probably not going to be an episode. Well, I don't want to say probably, Derek. I don't think me and you are going to be jumping up and down much this episode. But how you doing, my friend?
I'm irritable, man. I'm
That's the first thing he said to me, by the way.
The people who are around me in my life after a game like this, generally, I feel bad for them the next day because I'm just in general a prick when this happens. I take it. I mean, look, you're not supposed to take it out on other people, and I don't do it intentionally, but
it happens.
I end up like it seeps. It's like the pressure's building and it just has to vent somewhere.
Well, the funny thing is, I think people don't understand this a lot of times. Like, when you're a content creator like Derek and myself, I mean, Derek is live after every single game. I call every single game. This is what we do. So I think, it's always on our mind. It has to be. So after games like this, Derek is spot on. Guys, you heard me blow up a couple of times today during the game. One of those was a rant that we had clipped, and it's already doing it extremely well on YouTube, and Yankee fans are upset. And Derek, Yankee fans got every right to be upset. We're obviously going to discuss injuries. We'll discuss today's ball game, guys. We'll get to your questions, please. Throw them in there. Super chats, of course, always answered. But we'll get to as many of those questions as we can. But Derek, I got to throw it your way first, man. Is there a curse on this team with Aaron Hicks? No disrespect there. He played good today. Probably played better than everybody today. Hustled, did everything right. Bowers, first game. People are excited to see the kid get back to the major leagues. He was doing extremely well, and he busted up his kneecap on an amazing play out the gate. Hicks is in the game.
It's like, flipping a coin and having it come up tails 100 times in a row. This just doesn't happen.
No.
I mean, it's like the universe is conspiring against us to feed us more Aaron Hicks. I said yesterday on my recap that it feels like we, at some point, switched into an alternate universe where the big problem with the Yankees is that nobody can ever stay healthy, and for some reason, Aaron Hicks has to be on the team.
For real. Hey, I would actually root for the Yankee multiverse right now if we could get some Lou Gehrig over here, a couple of Andy Pettits. I mean, Andy Pettits from a couple of different years. I'd be happy with that if we could do the steroid Roger Clemens, bring him on board, please, somebody. Yeah. But things are not looking cute right now. And you hear a lot of comments like, oh, the Yankees are last place, the Yankees are this, the Yankees are that. The only thing I could say about the New York Yankees today, Derek, is that the New York Yankees today were lifeless. They played with no pride, no passion, nothing at all. They just looked dead. I can't tell you how many times they left the ball on the floor today. Hicks, Gleyber Torres picked up a ball, dropped near his feet. He just looked at it for a second.
Yep.
IKF did the same thing in center field. There was just a lot of play today where this team was like, they were at a funeral. It was like, well, the guy's gone, so let's just mourn for a while.
It was uninspired for sure. I do want to give credit. Hicks did hustle down 14-1. He didn't have to do that.
I called it out on that one, by the way, too. Yeah. I gave him a standing ovation because he didn't have to. I really did. I gave him a standing ovation because I'm like, hey, life. I said, they're alive. Look at this. He actually busted it. And as much as I beat up on Aaron Hicks, I want to root for Aaron Hicks. And in that situation, 100% I'm rooting for Aaron Hicks. So a great call on that one. Already got a few people in the chat saying last place team. I don't think it's that bad. I think there's a lot of time still left in the season. But when it comes to a forward view of this club, looking into the forecast, what the hell is going to happen here?
I said on my post game, I don't have any answers because not only does everybody we try and bring in immediately start to suck, or they get hurt. It's weird. It's like there's some kind of voodoo bullshit going on around this team. I feel like Joe Boo is in the clubhouse. Somebody stole his rum.
Somebody stole his rum. Hey, bartender,
Joe Boo needs a refill. Classic line.
That's the next injury the Yankees are going to end up getting, a bat just flying, God forbid, and busting somebody's head. That's the next thing that's going to happen to this team.
I mean, to me, this shouldn't be that unexpected. I mean, like you said, we invest our lives in this. We go live every single day. We work all off season. There's no off days when you're a podcaster for a competitive sports team. And we were sold.
No doubt.
This team is close. And I, to be fair, I felt like they were. I feel like
I agree.
I feel like last year we were pretty close, but we also were told that, we're counting on Donaldson. We're counting on IKF. We're counting on Hicks. And we pushed back because we follow this team and we understand that's no kind of strategy.
Yep.
And looky. Now that you're relying and depending on the weaker parts of the team, you're screwed. So, in football, you can hide your bad players, right? I mean, you don't have to throw to all the receivers that you have and you can hide guys. In baseball, you can't hide people. Everybody's going to get their 3 at-bats. And when you're running IKF out there every day and you're running Aaron Hicks out there every day, if Donaldson was here, he'd be running out there every day and probably doing the same exact thing. I don't know that there's a solution. I think the solution exists in the past. I think the solution should have been to prepare for this ahead of time. The time to fix the roof is when the sun is shining. And unfortunately, the Yankees, they didn't make much of an effort to improve the offense that was dead at the end of last season. And you mentioned how depressed you felt when we got on and how depressed Yankee fans feel, that they're more sad than anything. That's how I feel. I feel more sad than angry at this point because I feel like this team, they have some good talent and they, they have some guys that genuinely are exciting to watch. Judge and Volpe and Garrett Cole and, except for today, mostly Nestor. We got a great bullpen. I'm loving, watching Ian Hamilton and guys like that. But there's just so many disappointments. The fact that Cabrera doesn't hit, the fact that we're.
I was going to ask you about Oswaldo Cabrera because I know you were very high on him, and we all were. Even when I was saying I don't think he should be the starting left fielder, I was also saying, but he needs to be in the lineup every day.
Yeah.
Whether he's just that guy that could be the Ben Zobrist type and play everywhere. But I said it today, man. He's hitting 200, and he's been a major disappointment the first month. No doubt about it.
So I'm going to pull up his baseball savant statistics because they're not pretty. What you're seeing here is a guy who the league has adjusted to.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to.
And he's swinging at everything. I mean, you watch his at-bats, you're like, man, come on now. He's really, you could tell, he probably knows he's struggling and is changing his game up a little bit. And that's a natural thing that young players do go through.
So he's in the 7th% of walk percentage, the 9th percentile of expected slugging, the 10th percentile of expected batting average, 16th percentile in chase rate. Defensively, he's all in the red. Like, he's an excellent defender, which we knew.
Yeah.
But offensively, he's taken a step back. And one thing that I've seen is that pitchers are working him away. And he's trying to drive the ball the other way, but he doesn't have that club in his bag yet. So you're seeing that warning track power syndrome where, he might connect on one and knock the shit out of it towards left center field because he's a pretty good hitter, but it comes up 15 feet short of the fence because he doesn't have that kind of tools,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the way it is right now. Like, in my rant today, I went a little crazy on the idea that, and matter of fact, I'm going to pull up a couple of our tweets today, and I'll throw those on the screen for everybody. But one of the tweets I put out today right here was, I don't want to hear about injuries. This team is lifeless. They all look like they are attending a funeral. It's pathetic, which we already talked about. But the reason why I bring up that this team is lifeless and why I incorporated this into my rant is because I said that you can talk about injuries and you can say that, yes, this injury it's factual. They're beat up. They're hurt. We know Judge is out. We know all these guys are out. That is 100% true, and anybody can sit there and go, yes, the Yankees are beat up. But the play on the field that we have seen, Derek, there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse of the lackadaisical play on this team. And that is where I kind of flipped my shit and I said, I'm sorry, if you're the field general, that goes on you.
That's
the
Boone.
way bingo, the way your team plays every day on the field, forget the players. Forget what Brian Cashman put on this team. We all know we can knock that and talk about it all day. But the way the team prepares is on the coaching staff and the manager. The way their heads are down in the first inning, the way they seem like they lack complete motivation is on that coaching staff. And to me, that is a major problem.
When you have as many injuries as the Yankees have had, you would expect guys to step up and fill those roles, and you would expect guys to be emotional and hyped up and just high energy. I just don't see the right energy out of this clubhouse. And, you're onto something that definitely the energy and the vibe of the team comes from the manager, but it also comes from the coaching staff.
Yep.
We got a hitting coach who's never faced a major league pitcher in his fucking life.
Bingo. Talked about that today.
He's never faced our pitching coach has never pitched against a major league hitter in his life.
Yep.
To me, that should be a red flag. Our general manager never played or coached at the major league level.
Yep.
It's
all problems. And Derek, I got to cut you off because I want to bring this up about me and you because I used to get this in a chat. I would hear things about what you're saying and then what I'm saying. I'm kind of shocked how well aligned we are actually when it comes to the New York Yankees. And I think it's just based off of knowledge, to be quite honest with you.
It's hard to watch this team and come to other conclusions. I mean, we're as dialed
People
in.
Though somehow, which is quite shocking, but you're 100% right.
I think that, we both come from a time where we watched the Yankees play a certain caliber of baseball and play a certain style of baseball.
Yep.
We saw a certain style of men, a certain quality to their character where the game was never over and you never gave up and you hustle no matter what the score was. And when guys went down, other guys stepped up. When you lost Darryl Strawberry before the 98 playoffs, you didn't crumple.
That's
You
right.
you picked him up. You turned it up a notch. And, when you lost Bernie for 6 weeks that year, you picked him up. Guys stepped up like Bubba Crosby or
Yeah, that's right.
Bush or, over the years, we had guys that were ready to step in, and it meant something to wear the pinstripes. And I think that just you and I, having watched, all those years, we probably experienced a lot of the same things, and we recognize a lot of the elements that are not there now. It's not always, I notice you do this too, and I do it too, where we'll see somebody and we'll say, that guy reminds me of Yankee from
of course,
some odd year ago.
And that's exactly why. That's exactly why we do it.
And I feel like we also recognize when there's something missing, right? There's a certain feeling, and it's not always a tangible thing. You can't read it off a spreadsheet or an analytics sheet.
Bingo.
It's something that you have to create. It's a chemistry, and it's an experience. It's a combination of confidence and class, and the Yankees just don't have that now. They have a bunch of nincompoops from around the league that have, bounced from team to team. Franchi Cordero. What is a backup? We got 2 infielders playing the outfield, and another infielder that just ran into a fucking wall in the outfield yesterday. It's like, can this team do better with the depth? Can we have guys ready to step in?
Yeah,
you saw how good.
100% true.
Brett Gardner was on a top draft pick. Why can't we develop more guys like that are just ready to step in? Well-rounded players who fit the profile of the stadium, who hustle. That's all we want.
No doubt. And this is a tweet from you today, Derek. You said, the fact that we were ever excited about this team is embarrassing. I generally feel like the lady who said the JFK, man, Dallas does think you're swell. About 3 seconds before he got smoked.
So Frankie actually brought that. He tweeted below that the actual story. That's a real thing that happened. They're riding through downtown. She says to him, "Hey, JFK, we're having a great time. The city loves you." And he's like,
"Ding,
sure does."
And it does. It sums up. It sums up what we're seeing today. And it's funny because after the game ended today, somebody said to me, and actually, matter of fact, I think Frankie, to shout out Frankie again, Frankie tweeted it. He goes, "Did I hear Aaron Boone just say I thought we finished well?" And I'm like, "No, Frankie, there's no way. There's no way Aaron Boone said this."
He said it.
Come to find out, I'm going to play it right now. Aaron Boone said it. Take a listen, guys.
You see the compete today? You use that phrase a lot. You guys would show great compete.
Yeah, I thought we finished well.
I thought we finished well. And then he pauses for like 10 seconds because he's like, did I say that? Like, somebody even tweeted under it, they're like, Pete, either this guy is really friggin' stupid or he's terrified to say what he really wants to say. And he knows he can't do it.
I don't know,
Can you imagine
man.
saying something like that? I mean, what are you really, you really think fans are going to be okay with this?
So this is something this is something I complain about on my show all the time, is that he gaslights us without knowing that New Yorkers have a more finely calibrated bullshit detector than anywhere else in the world.
Bingo.
We know when you are feeding us a load of crap.
Yep.
And that's all that comes out of his mouth. The guy's a fucking diarrhea machine out of his face. And frankly, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of him chewing bubbles and looking like he doesn't know what's going on, and getting so lost in watching the game as a fan that he doesn't make moves that are obvious, and not communicating with his players about who's available and who's pitching where and what time the fucking game starts.
It's a shit show.
Guys should have never fired Girardi. And I'm not saying Girardi's the greatest manager in the world, but he took a team of rookies, and they got there on toughness and want to. This team doesn't have any want to.
Well, it's funny because when Aaron Boone was brought in 2018, I said that everybody should give him a year. Give him a year, give him time to get under himself and go from there. But in 2018, without me knocking him, one of the things I always said, it's to me my favorite line that I've ever said ever. I said, the Yankees expect to win, but they do not play to win. And I continue to say it because this is every single year, right?
Yeah.
We're a World Series team. We're a World Series team. We are a World Series team, folks. Then they get on the field and you go, this isn't a World Series team. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think they have that in them. And it's what you said earlier, guys. It is the intangibles. It is the little things they don't have. I say a lot, the team don't have balls. I don't mean that in Pete, you're calling them woman. No. I mean it based off their actions. This team does not do actions of a ball club, of a legit, we're all in this together. We got each other's back. We're going to make sure the right things happen. I don't see that with this ball club. I just don't. Since 2018 with Boone. Girardi, you're right. They had that. They were a grimy team in 2017. It was like they did everything well enough to get there.
I have this theory that teams tend to take on the collective demeanor and attitude of their manager and their coaching staff.
Yep.
So if you look at the 90s teams, Torrey was this very steady, very cool and collected, and that was a team that was great in in clutch moments. They were all cool and they didn't let things bother them.
Yep.
Girardi, he was a guy that you could tell he just wanted to win. He was not there to screw around.
That's right.
And he held people accountable.
Yep.
He got fired because he held Gary Sanchez accountable. I think we mentioned this last week. What happened to Gary Sanchez after he was gone? Career fell off the map.
That's right.
When I look at Boone, and I'm sorry to say this because I generally think he's a nice guy, and I would love to have like a beer with him. Like I get the impression, like as a man, he's kind of a panty waste. And
well, don't worry. By the way, I always say this. Maybe you'll agree with me. By the time you're going to be able to read a book, because I guarantee it, Aaron Boone is going to come out with a book one day saying none of this was his fault. I truly believe that. I truly believe he's going to say how handicapped he was on this team.
Do you ever think Aaron Boone cares about the pinstripes? I want somebody who cares about the pinstripes. I want Jeter as GM. I want Mattingly as the manager.
Point.
And I want somebody who takes a little pride in putting on the fucking uniform.
Great fucking point. And Bob, thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, we got over 300 people in here. Please do me a favor, smack the hell out that like button like your Domingo Haman and his wife is talking back to him.
God.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody.
All right, now we're even for my JFK thing. We gotta tone down we're a little too close to the edge there.
We're gonna be taken right off. You're gonna see the viewers just dropping any second.
Local podcasters canceled.
That's right, canceled immediately. Let me throw this other tweet on there because this one to me actually got a laugh, and this is from my friend Chris Stacy of the NyynewsTV podcast. He said, "PSA to all minor leaguers in the Yankees organization: if they try to call you up, respectfully decline the offer. Your health is at risk." That is a great friggin' tweet, and it's so damn true.
Oh man, that's terrific. Yeah, look, I feel like it's something interesting about how the guys that we trade away as our, castaways, they tend to pick it up pretty well somewhere else, and then the guys we view as our top prospects tend to fail. Yeah. Ronzi Contreras ended up being great, and then that kid Duran last night looks terrific.
What about Estrada hitting 350?
He's looked great. I mean, somebody commented, and this was I thought a fantastic point. I mentioned it on my show. Someone commented that if a player goes to a team and stinks, and then goes to another team and gets better, that's a pretty clear sign that it's the coaching. Yeah. But if it happens multiple times, that's just further evidence that it's the coaching, and coaching's a problem.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know why they don't see this.
And we have evidence of that too. It's not, well, we can talk about the Yankee organization, of course, but what I mean by we have evidence of that is the Baltimore Orioles. They were known for this. They're starting pitchers. Kevin Gossman, Jake Arrieta. These guys all came out and said, well, they didn't let us pitch the way we knew how to pitch. They only allowed us to do certain things. And then they went on, and Jake Arrieta was a Cy Young candidate. I think he actually may have won one year. Kevin Gossman has been fantastic, and I think I'm actually missing another one, but it is 100% true. Rick, who does some very good writing on the website, he brought this up too, and he said, hey, you know what that kind of means though, Pete? He goes, it does mean that our farm system is doing something right, but who we're thinking is a very good player or good enough to trade, that is where the problem exists. We're letting a lot of guys go that are ball players.
Yeah.
And we're keeping certain guys that might fit a mold a little bit, but they're not what is going to get you that victory. Jorge Mateo's doing extremely well. Again, Estrada's a guy we basically just handed away to the Giants.
I look at this roster. I feel like you're correct when you say ball players. I don't see a lot of ball player. Like Volpe's a ball player.
He is.
Peraza strikes me as a ball player.
Yes.
But those are kids. They're supposed to be transitioning. They're not supposed to carry you. You know? Maybe look for them next year to carry you.
Yes.
But who else do they have? Like, you could maybe say that IKF is kind of a ball player, but he doesn't have the tools to be a great ball player, right? You know what I mean?
He's a gamer, no doubt about it. He's a gamer, but he's not, like you said, he doesn't have the tools for that.
But Aaron Hicks is neither. He's got no tools. He's not a ball player. Gleyber Torres has tools, not a ball player. I don't think he's a ball player.
No, he's not. Gleyber's not a ball player, not at all. I'll even just so anybody doesn't get mad at me for this, I'll even say, if you get mad at us for saying that about Gleyber, Robinson Cano wasn't a ball player. He was just very, very good.
Some people are very talented.
Exactly. If you go around the Yankees roster, I think Jose Trevino, I think he's a ball player. I think Trevino's a guy that gets down and dirty, plays ball. Scott, DJ, by the way, with the super chat, my God. Yankees offense could have hit Tina Turner. Lord have mercy on our souls today. We're getting killed at this one. But DJ LeMahieu is a ball player. You look around the team and you don't have, I agree with you on Volpe and Peraza, no doubt about it. Hell, I'll even go out there and say I think Josh Donaldson's actually somewhat of a ball player.
But again, his skills just aren't what they were.
But his skill is diminished. Exactly.
Right.
They're not where they were.
And Rizzo right now, I mean, you got to say he's a ball player, but he's just not. He's having a tough time right now. You know,
Rizzo can't carry a club.
We got to have other guys that step up. And that's where a couple years ago, Aaron Boone made this interesting comment that still sticks with me. He says, we're a great team. We're just trying to get better in the margins. The margins. These are the margins. That's what we're seeing. IKF, Hicks, Donaldson, Franchy Cordero. These are the margins. You got to be better than this. You got to be. That's where they should spend their money. That's where the disposable money should go.
No doubt. Of course. 100%. I mean, and it's kind of comical too, because Brian Cashman, I always bring this up, and I'm like, okay, so just take the Yankees at their word. Just listen to what the Yankees tell you. They open up a lot, they say a lot, but then they completely do opposite, is what the Yankees do. Brian Cashman said, we got Benintendi for a reason, because we knew that we needed more contact in his lineup. Now, coming into the year, I'm with you. I was sitting there being very, very optimistic about this Yankee team because I assumed, one, Volpe's coming up. I think he's going to add speed, all that good stuff. Same with Oswald Peraza. They're going to add speed. It's going to be a different dynamic. But we all knew, we all sat here and said, the Yankees need an outfielder. They need to add another outfielder, whether it's Benintendi, whether it's Yoshida, whoever the hell it was that we were talking about during that time. Kaya Millet with a super chat says, Yankees should sign me. I can do just as good, quote, bad. I'm right there with you, man. But they needed to go out there and add somebody else. They didn't do it. One thing I always knock Brian Cashman on is the creativity of a trade. Mm-hmm. He's not a very creative guy at all. He's kind of, give me the checkbook, I'll sign the big name, and I'll maybe go dumpster diving for some other pieces. The Yankees right now are begging for creativity. They need somebody that's creative. They need a Omar Minaya and a Brian Sabian to go, how do we get out of this hole right now? And I'll be honest with you. You said it earlier. I repeat it a lot, and it's very, very true. Depending on youth is never a good idea. Mm-hmm. To sit there and go, everything is on Volpe and Peraza. But at this point right now, I think the Yankees got to almost hope that Chaparro could provide some power. Yeah. Elijah Dunham maybe is that Brett Gardner type. People always compare, he's a Gardner, Nick Swisher type. Yeah. That he's really a ball player, a gamer. Aaron Boone called him a ball player in spring training. The Yankees need some of those, and I don't know what the fix is. I don't know if there is a fix. I just don't. But they gotta try something else. What is the year? What was Cano's first year again when they call Cano up and move Wong back to center field and Wong?
So 05. It was the Yankees got off to an 11-19 start in 2005. They called up Shen-Ming Wong and Robinson Cano, and both of those guys they weren't like big time prospects. No, they were guys who were kind of respected by the hardcore fans because they were following the stats and saying, "Hey, these guys perform," but they weren't like ranked in the top 5. Correct. Cano comes up and he struggled right away, but the Yankees just kept playing him. Joe Torre, I remember specifically said, "Hey, second base is yours. I don't care if you go 0 for 50. We're gonna keep running you out there."
That's missing. Exactly why I say that. See that quote you just said?
Yeah.
I know that quote 100%. That is, I always say that. With these young guys, you got to tell them that. Hey, look, if you struggle, the position's yours. Just go out there and do what you've done. You can do it here.
I feel like, you talk about why we have similar views on things. I feel like we've been watching all the same shit and it's made an impact, because when you hear somebody like Joe Torre say that, you realize, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. A young player should be given an opportunity to play, even if he failed. And we saw the results. He went about 1 for 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he turned it up.
Hit 297.
Yeah, 297 as a rookie, and he got better from there. I feel like also this is a long-term issue where the Yankees are still struggling from getting too right-handed over too many years.
No doubt.
Because you've had to adjust on the fly, and you've never just had that good young left-handed bat that's a high-energy guy that just rakes, I'm hoping that, when Bowers comes back, that he stays hot and that the reconstructed swing is real. We need some magic. We need 100%. One of those Shane Spencer,
Aaron Small and Chacon moment. We need something like that. And by God, man, as I'm using a Jim Ross line here from wrestling, by God, we need Carlos back. We need Sevy back. We need Harrison Bader back. We need these guys back to jump in immediately. And somebody mentioned it today in today's chat, and Ruben, I'm going to get to your super chat any second here. Somebody mentioned it to me. They said, Pete, do you think there's anywhere in the world where the Yankees just say to hell with it and they call up Jason Dominguez and say, hey, get out there and play? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't see that as a possibility at all.
If he was hitting 340, maybe. He's hitting 140. I'm sorry. I mean, I get that he walks a lot. We already walk enough. We need some guys who can swing the bats. We need some hits.
So we got 2 super chats from Ruben. He says, give Mattingly, David Kona, even Willie Randolph. I'm sick of this offense and sick of Boone's lack of management. You pull Cole with 92 pitches after easy outs with Evaldi going 113. And also, 2 on top of that yesterday. I'm sorry. I know somebody told me, they said, Pete, they want Johnny Breeder to end up on a high note. Johnny Breeder threw 58 pitches. 58 friggin' pitches. What is up with that? I say it all. I think Boone gets a hard on to take guys out of games. I really do.
I do. I agree with you trying to give. Like I understand that take. Like I feel you. Not the time. You know what I mean? Like not the time. Like
your bullpen needs it. They need a rest.
If it's September and like you got a guy coming up and it doesn't really mean anything. Sure, let him end on a. You're trying to win games here, and he's dealing, and the bullpen is you got nothing right at this point after him. So
yep. We have another super chatty from Ruben. He says, thus offense pisses me off because, like, come on, just play the young guys. If you're going to play anybody, I'm so tired of the Corderos, Calhouns, and Hicks. Just let the kids play. And, it's just a tough situation to be in. And, we all hope we have the answers and hope that, the Yankees can do 1 or 2 moves and things are fixed immediately. But it does feel different this year, and I hate saying that because, believe it or not, I try to be optimistic, and I try to look at the positives and go, I do think this team's going to get better, and I do think they're fine. This year just feels different to me.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is. I don't have confidence. I mean, the Yankees will sit there and tell you, and Michael Kay will sit there and tell you, oh, don't worry, Josh Donaldson's coming back. They're gonna, they need him in the lineup. I don't think he adds anything. Giancarlo Stanton, they definitely need Big G, but how much can you depend on him? It's just
and he's gonna stink when he comes back.
Now.
Like when he comes back, he always sucks for a month.
Always.
It's like I feel like we're without the real Giancarlo until minimum July, and you have to hope that in the interim, when he comes back, he doesn't pull a calf or another hamstring or something, which at this point is always a risk with him. I think something that bothers me a lot is that IKF today was his 14th game starting in center field.
Unbelievable. He's become the new center fielder.
He played center field, once or twice in spring training, and they said we may use him out there at some point. He started more than half the games in center field now. That just tells me that as an organization, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what your plan is. You don't have a real plan. You got to have a real center fielder ready to back up. Bader's got a history of injuries. You got to have a real DH ready to come up. When Giancarlo goes down, Chaparro's got to be your first call to hit as your DH. You've got to have. It's like okay, you got your front line, right? And then you got your guys behind that, and they should all be ready to step in, not go take this first baseman and go put him in left field, or take this guy who's been on 18 different teams in the last 3 years and stick him out there for 2 weeks. Let's have guys that are ready in the minor leagues. That's what they're for.
Yeah.
We talked about, and I'll just retouch on this one more time. We talked about how the Yankees like to use the AAA as kind of like a loophole thing for like their bullpen guys and stuff like that. Right. Shuttle, rather than using it what it's meant for. It's meant for you to have guys at the ready because people get injured over the course of a 162 game season. Yankees just ignore a century of baseball and say, well, we're just going to use 19 bullpen guys on the 40-man roster.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the Yankees. As we got a super chat here from the Bronx Calvinist, he says, "Why didn't we sign Andrew Benintendi?" Well, I personally don't believe Andrew Benintendi wanted to be here, but
no.
And look, those are guys' decisions. I know people say, "Well, money talks." Well, do you really want to overpay Andrew Benintendi a ton of money to come back here and beg him? If he doesn't necessarily want to be here, but the Yankees right now, 1 game over 500. If I were to look at you right now, Derek, and said, give me your concern from a 1 to a 10, 10 being the highest, truly, going into the end of April. April's done. Yankees finished 1 game above 500, which is kind of amazing, to be honest. What would your level of concern be?
In a typical year, I'd say 4 or 5. They'll turn it up when weather warms up.
I agree. I would. Yeah.
This year, I'm closer to 7 or 8. Like I'm at an 8. Yeah, I'm pretty concerned.
I'm at an 8, man, and. Somebody, again, I think that is Joseph says he brings up how important Shane Spencer and Rick Leday were to the 98 Yankees, and that is spot on. I just saw that. I'm like, you know what? Yeah. And
great point.
First 2 names, again, that I is, Chaparro and Dunham are names you hear a lot about. And where the Yankees are right now, I always say this, man. You got a 26-man roster at the highest level of baseball. Everybody there should be your best players you have.
Yes.
Everybody there should 100% be your best players you have. The one thing about these Yankees right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, I don't remember saying this stuff when when Girardi was in charge, and maybe I did, and I just don't remember. I'm choosing not to remember, but I don't remember. The one thing that has been consistent year after year after year since 2018 was every year. We're begging the Yankees to call certain guys up from AAA. Remember the year when they had Park in the minors and we'll give Park a chance. Give Florial a shot. Hicks isn't doing well. Give this guy, give that guy, Ref Snyder, all this and that.
Yeah.
There's always names in AAA that were like, well, this guy's not performing at all. I mean, you would expect that then to be in the New York Yankees. They'd put somebody else out there. The Yankees just do not do it. The last couple of years, I look at this team all the time and I go, This can't be their best roster. Right. I make the joke all the time that if I'm Steinbrenner, I just pull cash from the room, show him the roster, and go, "Why am I keeping you? Where's my money going? I need you to show me."
Yeah, I mean, I'm in marketing, and if my boss called me up and said, "Hey, Derek, sales are down 45% this year. What's going on? What's your plan to make it better?" More of the same shit. It's like that's not going to cut it. Luis Sojo, that's another great one. That was, a veteran solid player that they went and got. I feel like the reason that we don't see some of these guys is because, they're playing above their head and the Yankees want to use them as a trade piece like they did with Park, but there's also something to be said for letting guys who are hot get a chance. If you remember when Park first came up, he dominated for about 2 weeks. Yes. And then the league figured him out. And sometimes all you need is a couple of weeks.
I was about to say, yeah, no doubt.
If you think the league might figure somebody out, but you think they might have a couple of weeks in them, it might be worth it. And you know what? I don't see the virtue of continuing to let some of these guys toil in the minor leagues while you give it bats to Aaron Hicks, while you give it bats to Franchi Cordero. They should not even be in the organization.
Yeah, no, not with the Yankees. Not with the Yankees. If this is another team that is sitting there saying, hey, if this guy bounced back, we found somebody, and cheap. Yeah. The Yankees can't be that organization. And you said it on the last show, too. Brian Cashman probably needs to get on the phone and see if there's some sort of trade that he can make. Something. You got to get somebody here. It's definitely time for that. And, let's talk about logic for a second. And that is the way I think everything in life could be figured out. Common sense. It's very easy to look at stuff with a common sense point of view and go, here's what I like, here's what I don't like. Maybe this is the best decision. Let's all go in on this. When a guy like Stanton goes down, you're saying, all right, what did we just lose? We lost a major power source. We lost that big right-handed power.
Yeah.
Then Aaron Judge also goes down and we go, now we've lost the best player on our team.
Yeah.
Who in the hell in the room with Cashman, these guys, are not sitting there going, hey, guys, probably the best person to have up here is Andre Chaparro. Yeah. I mean, just because every now and then he's probably going to supplement that home run power.
Yeah. I think the Yankees are trying to win in another way. They're trying to win on pitching and defense until these guys are back, but their pitching and defense isn't good enough. And I think we're just going to suffer for that. You know, there's kind of a thought in Major League Baseball that typically GMs will wait until about Memorial Day to see what you got and then make moves. I don't think we got till Memorial Day, guys. I think we're going to be 17, 18 games back by Memorial Day if we don't get something going now.
I mean, if these guys, and that's why I asked you about that scale in chat. You guys give me your opinion on that from 1 to 10. How concerned are you? 10 being the highest. Me and Derek both say around a 7 or 8. I'm definitely at an 8. I feel very, very different about this club this year, and I don't know where the fix is. And you know, things don't get much easier for the Yankees. We're going to talk about the schedule here momentarily, but Brett with the super chat says they're not calling up certain guys because they're so unwilling to admit a mistake and DFA/eat contracts. That's another thing that we talk about a lot. I said this recently. I don't know if it was on our last show, but I said everybody has an ego. Everybody has an ego when they do something pretty well. They know that they do it well. Other people see they do it well. And there's an ego. But when you act upon your ego or don't act on your ego, that's a problem. And one thing I got to say about Brian Cashman, Derek, I think if there was any other teams, a lot of teams else out there right now, Aaron Hicks would have been released a while ago. I don't think he would have made it through the offseason.
I agree.
Other teams that, and again, use the Yankees word, folks, they're telling you we are World Series ready. Well, if you're World Series ready, truly explain to me why this guy who is not an obvious need for this club is still on this team when everybody knows it, you guys know it, but you refuse to make a change.
And again, I feel like a broken record saying this, but you know that you have a record number of injuries every year. You have to figure you're going to have at least some injuries, and to not be prepared with proper backups that haven't been released by 3 or 4 different teams over the last couple of years. You know, I mean, how many times has Calhoun been released? How many times has Franchi been released? There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You know, so somebody mentioned Chili Davis and Tim Raines and all this stuff.
Yep.
It's not as easy these days to get veteran, all-star caliber players to be on your bench, but you got to do better than these guys. I'm sorry. Who's out there? I don't know. That's not my job. I'm a fucking podcaster.
Yep.
That's Brian Cashman's job. My job is to comment on it, and I told him it was fucking bullshit, and he did it anyway.
Yeah. No, you're spot on, but let me let's switch on over and look at the upcoming schedule for our New York Yankees. Of course, now they head home for 3 games, and they'll face the Guardians. My favorite manager in baseball, Tito Francona. Of course, the manager of the Guardians. They're off on Thursday. Then they play the Rays multiple times. They play the Rays for 3 in Florida. Then they go back home, 3 against the Athletics, and then 4 against the Rays. And then it doesn't get easier. 4 against the Blue Jays. So, Derek, we have a, hate saying it, because I don't want to say it. I don't want it to happen. But we got a very real possibility of being totally underwater come mid-May. You
know, I know you're probably not a Star Trek fan, but I'm a big Star Trek fan. I feel like our shields are down.
Star Wars guy. Okay, I'm a Star Wars guy.
I'm a Star Trek guy. Our shields are down, and we're taking shots from Romulans, and our warp core is close to going offline, and systems are critical. And we got Aaron Boone at the helm, the captain of the USS Bubblegum.
Just crash. Just go face down and end
the USS Panty Waist. I don't know.
God. I mean, that's a tough one, man. 3 against the Guardians at Yankee Stadium. 3 against the Rays, who you know, look, let me tell you guys the difference of the Yankees and the Rays right now. The Rays, we're in May. And let me tell you guys right now, Kevin Cash is telling that team, end these guys. Their
He's
message
saying
is
go
going
for
to
the
be
kill.
Go for the kill. You don't sit back and wait. These are head-to-head matchups. These are when you get them.
Yep.
Beat the brakes off this team. That is
Yep.
the goal. The goal is that we got 7 games in a span of about 2 weeks. We need to absolutely annihilate these guys. That is the plan.
Yeah,
And we have nobody coming back besides, I would assume, I think by then, Bader is the only guarantee probably.
And I wouldn't even say that's a guarantee. I mean, I hope he's back. Do you think they're going to DL Judge? I think they will because
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're just going to be super cautious with their $40 million man. I don't think they're going to let him make that call. I think there's a real chance we go 1-5, 0-6 over this week. And you mentioned it. You know, Kevin Cash has that mentality of a competitor. He was a Major League Baseball player too, and you know he's got that killer instinct.
Catchers, man.
Yeah,
It's something about the catchers, man.
And he's not going to put out a punt lineup. You're not going to see a punt lineup from the Rays.
Never.
Tito's not going to throw out a punt lineup. And those guys, you know, you think, look at the edge that those guys have, the nailers. And I mean, we might think they're schmucks, but those are the guys you want. Those guys with a little bit of edge to them.
I always talk about it, man. I always talk about it. Yankees need a villain.
Yeah.
The Yankees need somebody that other teams kind of see as that villain and that he shoves it in teams' faces. And I was hoping Carlos Rodon would be that guy.
Yeah.
I was hoping that Josh Donaldson was going to be that guy when we got him. But man, oh man, it's tough. And you look at a team like the Guardians. I mean, you got guys like Quan is a ball player. You got Ahmed Rosario is a ball player. And you're not even looking at the Jose Ramirez's, but they just got a team of ball players. And the one thing that everybody gets shocked about is you look at that team at the end of the year and they go, they're always in it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why they're always in it. For the people that sit there and go, Pete, it's Brian Cashman. I don't disagree with you. But it's the field general also. Tito Francona does not take bullshit. Tito Francona does not accept his team going out there and putting their head between their legs when they're down 2-0 in the first inning. And going, guys, it's over. Start lighting the candles because we're done. He doesn't allow that type. The New York Yankees got a lot of issues. They got a lot of problems. And, you know, we can sit here and talk about this all day long, but again, like I said, 3 against the Guardians, 3 against the Rays, that's 6. 3 against the Athletics, 9, and then 4 there. That's 13 games. Hell, I'll even throw in the Blue Jays. That's 17 games. I can't see the Yankees playing 500 ball. No. I can't see it.
We should have signed Harper and Machado. Like everybody was saying they should do. You got the money. They're sitting out there. They both want to play for you. Wouldn't Bryce Harper have been just the perfect Yankee?
The guy said he'll play first base to play for the. He's like anything. He shaved, remember?
Yeah.
He shaved everything when he was a sign. He was like, I want to be here, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that was, you know, in life there are these checkpoints where you make decisions, you know.
The butterfly effect.
And everything changes from that point. OJ shouldn't have gone to his wife's house that night. You just stay home. Just keep chipping the golf balls. Stay home. Stay home, Juice. Do Hertz commercials. You know? I feel like we should have signed Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
I think we've touched on a little too much.
Norman Bates should have listened to his mother.
Yeah.
Leave the girls alone, Norman. Leave no house calls on the weekend, Norman. Be nice. We got a super chat here from Ruben. The Rays have 6 300 average hitters and a 270 average. Yet Yankees always looking to punt and somehow always struggling to hit north of 200. I don't know anymore. I mean, I'm visibly upset. We're all obviously mad at what this Yankees team is right now because we expect so much better. I expected so much. I expected a healthy team that as Aaron Hicks said, was going to have that fuck you this year. Yeah. In the sense of we feel we're the best and we're going to play the best. I don't even want to go into possible replacements at, you know, GM and all this because it's not going to happen. We know Hal Steinbrenner's not going to make no decision. You know, after this game, Derek, when I think it was in the 9th inning, the Yankees were mounting their comeback. their great comeback performance.
The rally
was going on. Walking a run, and then Aaron Hicks came up. And I remember saying, I said, I feel like it's one of those times where Steinbrenner can really put his foot down and drop some people's jaw. Go, wow, holy shit, he did that, or he even said that. And you just know you're going to get crickets. And it's not, you know, a lot of times it's not about firing, but it's about the presentation. Guys, I am here. Just so your fans know, I am watching too. I am here. Just to come out and go, look, this is unacceptable. No matter how many injuries we have, we should not be this type of team. This is unacceptable. And fans, like you said earlier, you can't bullshit New Yorkers. We like accountability. Some accountability right now would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know what the solution is, man. We just got to hope things get better. But as Lori C always says on my chat, hope isn't a strategy.
Hope isn't a strategy. No, not at all. That's a great line. So, yeah, I know Bronx Talks right there. He's the one who sent me that clip to me and Frank. He said Boone with an unserious press conference today. Everything right now at the Yankees is unserious. Hirsch says Hal DFA Hicks might wake up the team a little bit. I don't even know at this point. I really don't. I mean, you DFA Hicks and who's playing? I mean, who do they call up? Is Bader? Is that the move for Bader? I mean,
it might be, but
here and
at this point, I don't know. I mean, you're not gonna fix this team by DFAing one person or anything like that. This is a thing where you need to fire Cashman and hope that whoever comes in to replace him can fix it. I mean.
And they got it. Brian Sabian is the fucking guy, man.
Yeah, he's great.
I mean, I'm just sitting here looking like, and a lot of us even talked about this. It's like, hold on a second, hold on. So, Hal Steinbrenner had the opportunity just to go to Brian and go, look, Brian, you're not going to get fired. You don't have no contract. I think it's time that we just have an announcement that you decided to do something else. Walk away in a good form. Brian Sabian comes right and is like, hey, I work for your dad. I get it. I think I have an understanding. We got a great farm system. I think they're making an impact on the farm already. I really do. You got guys playing some different positions, kind of setting it up for the future. And man, oh man, Derek, that just would have been so perfect.
I wanted. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted Jeter as the GM and Donnie as the manager. That was my hope. I think we talked right after the season and we said that was the way we would go because I recognize that Jeter is an athlete that understands people. Right.
Yes,
and I feel like he would be a great judge of, who wants to be here. Do you think, can you put Derek Jeter as Aaron Hicks's boss and imagine that there wouldn't be accountability?
He wouldn't be playing. He wouldn't be on this team still. There's no doubt about that. And, you brought up something earlier. And this is why when I had my back and forth with Scott Braun, even about the Yankees facial hair policy, I just simply said, but there's something about being a Yankee. And Eric Kratz on that same thing said, look, a lot of players did complain about it. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, people did complain about not having a beard or having to shave all the time. It's annoying, when you're playing ball every day. And I get it. But even he said, I would do it 100 times over again. There is something about being a New York Yankee. And you brought this up earlier. Maybe sometimes the manager of the Yankees should have been something with the Yankees. Should have kind of had a little bit of that pride and that history. Of course, Joe Girardi had the World Series titles, the bringing up Jorge Posada, being his kind of mentor early on in his career, and big hits in the postseason. Aaron Boone got one damn big hit, and then he went like a moron to breach his contract, hurt his leg playing, and they dumped him. That should have been your answer right there to don't do no business with this guy ever again.
Talk about failing upwards, and Torrey never played for the Yankees, but he was a New Yorker. He understood the Yankees.
Correct.
Aaron Boone, I don't know where the hell Aaron Boone's from, probably California or something, but I feel like he's a guy who's, kind of laid back and just doesn't get it and doesn't. Torrey took that pressure from the outside and channeled it into a fire for his team.
Yeah.
Boone
just made diamonds.
Boone, my brother has a quote in his high school quote was a great quote. I quote this all the time. A diamond is just a piece of coal that did well under pressure.
Damn right.
And aside from one lucky swing off of a 58-mile-an-hour knuckleball that did nothing. That did nothing. He did nothing in his career.
It's me when I play my son in baseball outside. He's Jack Job City.
I'm glad that you don't take it easy on your son. You got to. No. I mean, you got to wreck those hanging sliders.
Damn
but
right.
I just feel like Boone is the wrong type of leader for this type of team.
No doubt, no question about it. No doubt about it. So, with that, guys, we're gonna wrap up this episode. We had about 400 people in here all the time. Thank you guys so much. We greatly appreciate it. Be sure to follow Derek over at NYY Recaps. Make sure you guys like this video before you leave. And I mean, Derek, I'll leave it. I'll just end it right here. What is your last words on all this pile of garbage that we have going on right now?
In Major League, there's these two groundskeepers that are working, and they're like, "Honotoy," and they're still shitty. They're shitty. These guys are shitty. Those are my words.
Naksume.
Yeah.
Those are great words. And I mean, I kind of want to quote Lou Brown here, but it'll go too long on it's either a leg thing or a psychological thing or a heart attack.
A heart attack.
Oh, heart attack. We need a Lou Brown or what was Tom Berenger's guy in that movie again? Jake. Jake.
Oh
my God, what's the last name? Oh no, we can't end a show like this.
I'm gonna find it because Major League's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Jake.
MLB Major League movie. Jake Taylor. Jake Taylor.
There we go. Yes. Yeah. Jake Taylor. The Yankees need a guy like that, and maybe there's definitely some of those guys out there.
Take the bullpen car.
Yes. But with that being said, guys, we will never come whack on a Designated Spittaz track. Thank you guys so much. Remember to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast, also, of course, on Spotify. Until next time, guys, we are out. Adios. Talk to you guys.
Before it hits the front